your observation from watching from afar?
Pretty good. The guys they did better in the second half, obviously, but that's who I know we can be, which is very, exciting for me. We saw both sides of it against Missouri. First half was slow, and then the second half, that was Memphis basketball. Oh, the shirt. It's a workout shirt.
So what's it like to have a point guard like JQ? You go from Kendrick Davis, and now you got Javon Quinn.
Yeah, you're talking about two great guards. To have Kendrick Davis last year, incredible scorer, just a winner, and then have JQ, incredible playmaker, and a guy that can score and can, get things done for you. So, winner, he's won, a lot in his career, so just blessed to have him here as well.
What in your mind changed in that second half to make it, Memphis basketball?
I think it's just the nerves, got the nerves out. That was a big first road game. It was a setup game. That's why I kind of, scheduled it because, they had the entire weekend set up. The women played Indiana State on Thursday. The men played us, and then the football game with Tennessee the next day. So it was like a huge deal. So it made the crowd much more rowdier, and it was a tough environment. That to me, in the first half, kind of got them rattled. In the second half, we pretty much switched everything and, brought that victory home. It was a great team effort, coaching staff and team together.
Do you attribute any of that to shortening the rotation a little bit in the second half?
You can say that because you saw nerves from some of the guys in the first half that coach didn't really feel confident or comfortable with going within the second half. You got to win. You're down 14, and then you push to get to within 7 at half. You can't mess around anymore. You got to go with the guys that they're going to help you win. And kudos to coach for making that change for Caleb in the second half and staying with that group because it's ultimately about getting the win.
How you don't take the foot off the gas with the game you got Friday and what you got coming up next week with the overlook?
Well, the good thing is that, Tony Maddox has his team playing good basketball. He played Ole Miss tight. He played Iowa tight in the first half, and, teams start figuring it out in the second half and kind of pushed away. But they're not pushovers. They're not afraid. Like I stated, they've already gone to Ole Miss. They've already gone to Iowa, so it won't be this wow factor. And you have Memphis kids on that team that really want to play well. Amar Knox and T.J. Maddox. So for me, you can't overlook because you see UC Irvine winning the other day at USC. You see James Madison going to Michigan State, so you can't overlook anyone.
Coach, I know you got one more game before you can join the team, but have you already packed your bags just to get ready for the Bahamas? And how excited are you, to actually be back on that bench?
Yeah, no, I have not packed my bags, but I'm very excited. It's to me getting thrown right into the fire right away. My first game coaching is against Michigan, who played exceptionally well at St. John's the other day. But that's why I love this game, the competitive side of it and getting prepared for big game. That's why I came here. That's why we took the schedule that we have. And I'm really more excited, but I have not started packing yet.
You like yelling at the TV when you're watching these games? Like how do you channel that energy that like you're normally coaching?
I'm yelling at the TV because I know what's supposed to happen, and it's hard. I've never had to do that, but it's also it's been good for me to see it from that view. Watching it at home, listening to the commentators, and seeing how the guys react, body language, who's actually doing what. You can see it all. During the game, it's so fast, but actually watching it on TV, you can see more.
Yes, sir. So you spoke about Caleb Mills. Talk about his performance playing through an injury and what's his status.
Yeah, I mean he's been a soldier for us because he could definitely be sitting practices out. He has really bad tendonitis, and he's being a soldier about that for sure. And to go into that second half and defend Sean East, who had a great first half, that's just who Caleb is. He's willing to do the things that other guys aren't willing to do, being healthy or injured. And I just hope that tendonitis calms down more because we have this game tomorrow and then 3 games in a row next week.
You've had JQ, you had Walton, you've had Jones, all go at the same level. How do you manage those egos to make sure they stay on the same level they need to be instead of being up and down?
Yeah, we keep preaching us. Just the 2 letters US, us. It's not about, yourself, being me. I think that we understand that for us to go where we want to go, we have to win. And the guys are willing to sacrifice, and that's what they're doing. They're talking more about it. If something gets out of order, they put it right back in order right away. They don't let it linger. And that's the signs of a really good team.
Where'd you watch the game at?
I watched the game at a place called Owner's Box.
In Columbia, right? You were in,
Now, I flew to Columbia and then flew right back to Memphis. I was in Columbia and then I flew back to Memphis.
You know you can't go there again this week because they'll know you're there.
Yeah.
you gotta go back to that original sports bar that you went to for the first game, you think?
It's the same one.
That's the same one. Yep.
You talked about second half adjustments that, Coach Rick Stansbury had made. How much of that is stuff that y'all had kind of discussed, and how much of that is him kind of freelancing, so to speak?
Well, we discussed, when I went to Missouri, we sat down as a staff after the shoot-around that Thursday night, and we discussed every scenario that could possibly happen. And, we went with the script. We kind of scripted it out together, and, the biggest thing he did was start Caleb in the second half. Everything else is what we had already worked on. The guys just got more comfortable. We were missing some open looks. We made the open looks in the second half and then turned the defense up.
Now, defensively, that's probably one of the better defensive halves you guys played as a unit in a while. How can you make that more consistent throughout the season?
It's just mentality. I think you have to make that consistent with the mentality of understanding we can't wait. You don't get do-overs. It only takes a couple minutes for a team to go on a run when you know exactly what they're going to what's going to happen and what they're going to run. And you have to take it away. If you're locked in on what we're doing, they're getting the answers to the test before they go out there. Obviously, when you get on the court, things can change. But, they just have to, be mentally stronger going into the game to do what they need to do.
What do you observe about the team that you can see on TV, about the team and your players, obviously, but also about Coach Stansbury that maybe you don't see when you're on the sidelines and they do?
No, everything that I've seen, I know. I know Coach Stansbury is a veteran guy that understands how to win ball games. And I see that we have a very good group of guys. Not only good ball players, but good group of young men that want to play for the right reasons. So to me, I enjoy coaching this team because they listen, they want to do well, and we have a staff that doesn't have egos.
You itching a little bit? You itching a little bit to get back?
Absolutely. It's been hard to watch. And but I'm rooting at the same time for the guys to be successful because we're all in this together.
One of those Memphis guys that you mentioned on Alabama State, Maddox, was once committed to you guys for a little bit a couple years back. What do you think of the way that he's progressed since arriving at Alabama State?
Yeah, he's growing. You get your growing pains as a freshman, and now going into the second year, things are better. It's early in the season, but I'm always rooting for Memphis kids, to do well. And he's going to be, Tony loves him, and he's been a really good player for him there.
Coach, you already mentioned Michigan first game back, but when you look at that field, how much of an opportunity do you look for you guys to, make a national splash?
No, huge opportunity, and that's all we want is a chance. And through our non-conference, I've given us a chance to make some noise if we handle our business the right way.
Hey, Coach, I know Rick made a run to the Final Four, back in the day. Does he often share his story to the team about what it took and some of those stories on his travels on that track?
No, he doesn't really talk about his past when it comes to, especially that Mississippi State team. I know, but, basically he just comes with his wisdom of just what he knows that it takes for us to win and to be successful.
I know there's a couple things that have to happen, but there is a chance that Memphis plays Arkansas in that event, and you have a deep history. This program has a deep history with Arkansas. How is that a game you have tried to get back on the schedule, not in the Bahamas, like as a home and home at all?
Yeah, for sure. I think me and Musselman, we'll eventually work that out to where it's a regular season, but the possibility of that happening is pretty cool. Those Arkansas rivalries have always been great because there's always been Memphis kids on those teams when we played, and that's what makes it even sweeter.
You talked about Tony Maddox coming back here. What does that mean to you to kind of see his progression, as teammates first, then playing or coaching under you, and now he's kind of doing his own thing?
Yeah, I can even go back to our college days. He graduated college in 3 years. Lets you know what he's all about. Really smart guy. Went into coaching, went through the bumps and bruises, and to see him be rewarded by South Carolina State first and now Alabama State, it's definitely the good stories that you love to hear about and that you love to see when guys just work, do the right thing all the time and gets rewarded. So I'm definitely happy for him.
Two more.
Did you see what you wanted out of Jordan Brown? I know you were trying to get a little more energy out of him.
Yeah, he ramped it back up. Sometimes you gotta shock guys back into reality, and that worked for him and Caleb. They both now know that they can't rest or feel entitled, and they know that. I mean, it wasn't anything personal. I just thought that the energy would come better from Malcolm and Nicholas, and then Caleb and Jordan answered the bell.
Does that mean that they'll be back in the starting five, or how does that?
We'll see. We'll see. You know Maddox watching this, man.